you went to the knowingness and you had your aha moment. But the knowingness, does it speak? What was the quality of this knowingness?
I think it was empty.
It was empty. Can emptiness speak? Can it say ha, who, whatever it spoke? Can it do that? It cannot, correct?
Yeah, it cannot.
You go to a silent space and then you feel aha, and it's the mind that phrases whatever words came out of you. Yeah? I am telling you to take this further into life. I'm not telling you to remain just in the knowingness. I'm telling you, recognize this knowingness, great, but now take it further. Your mind said whatever your sentence was, your aha, whatever. It is just thinking. Is thinking different than knowing? Is thinking happening in another space and knowing happening in another space?
No.
It's happening together. It is the same thing. So recognize it. My knowingness, I can take it into my world, into talking, into walking, into doing things. Whatever it is, the knowingness knows that activity. In fact, it is the knowingness that has become that activity. We'll come to that later. But I want you to start with this recognition that there is no difference between knowingness and thinking, and then knowingness and then this perception, or knowingness and that talking or doing that.
Okay.
When we start the meditation, we are seeing it as subject and object. I looked at this bunny. This bunny came and it went. Then the phone came and went. So I was separately looking at the objects. Why was I doing that? To become very clear that the knower does not change with the change in objects. Did you get that? I must have not said it explicitly, but I made you do it in the meditation. Yeah. So the knower does not change with the change in scenes. The knower remains constant. Yes, that was the first leg of the meditation. Now the knower is knowing itself, or awareness is aware of itself. This is the second leg. Yeah. If you can manage to be there for a moment, be there. Yeah. Just stay there. Recognize that in this moment, there is really no time and no space. Really, there is nothing happening here. And because there is nothing happening here, there is a restlessness that suddenly comes up and you want to come out of it. Yeah? Just be in the nothing happening here. You will be able to stay there. Yeah? And then you can bring this knowingness back out. And now there is no difference between the objects and knowingness, because any object, my own hand, all I know is the perception of my hand. I do not know the object. And perception is not different from knowingness. Perception is not different from awareness.
Knowingness.
Yes, Sakshi is equal to witness, is equal to knowingness, is equal to awareness. Different scriptures give it different name. Is equal to shunyata, which means zeroness or emptiness. Is equal to purnata, which means fullness. Yeah, and there are n number of names in the scriptures. So wherever you come across this name, It's the same thing we are talking about. It's the same thing. Names should not confuse you. Don't allow them to deter you. Yeah, because that is what creates the divide. Oh, I believe in this and you believe in that. People of the Purnata sect and the Shunyata sect fight with each other for no reason. If they had the courage, they would climb up the mountain from both the sides and notice that at the peak, Shunyata is equal to Purnata, zero-ness is equal to fullness. There is no difference. The people who don't have the courage to climb up the mountain, they stay at the base and fight with each other. Never let these things come in the path of your spiritual progress. Yeah. Speak in terms of pure consciousness and mind now. It's the light of pure consciousness, like the light of sun. Sun is not really reflecting its light. Sun is a ball of fire. It cannot do anything about it. Like that, pure consciousness is a ball of consciousness, is a ball of awareness, is a ball of knowingness. Again, ball, I am again restricting it, limiting it. It is not. I am just using it as a metaphor right now. So that pure consciousness is reflecting on my little intellect. Yes, my intellect is divided into ego and rest of the mind. Rest of the mind, you understand, no? Memory and that part of the mind which comes up with cravings and aversions. Yes, that is rest of the mind. And in this intellect itself has the quality of intelligence. Intellect itself has the quality of knowingness. Do you understand this? What in you is getting sharpened right now with knowledge? Your intellect. So you're understanding it, how it is the perfect mirror? Yes. So the light of pure consciousness is reflecting on this perfect mirror. Now what does Mr. Ego, which is a part of this mind, come up and say? Ah, this light is I. I am the light. Do you see the drama? And then this gives you a feeling of I. There is no I inside. I does not exist. I is just a thought, which Ramana Maharshi called as the I thought. That's all it is. There is no continuous I that exists inside. Yeah, this body-mind complex, there is nothing like I there. Yeah, this is the biggest blow on the path of Advaita. Oh, there is no I. So I do not exist. Yeah. Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham. What do you think? Who are you? You think I am the man or mind. You think I am Buddha, the intellect. I think I am the ahankar or ego. And I think I am the chitta, which is the memory. Yes? I always feel I am a mass of these all together or one or whatever your idea of I is. The main shloka on the path of Advaita is Mano Buddhi Ahankar Chittani Naham. Basically, you're saying, I am not I. I am not I. Yeah. This is the toughest thing for the ego to swallow. Yeah, the toughest pill for the ego to swallow, that I do not exist, that I am nothing but that reflected light. and I'm pretending to be something else, whereas I am not that. Now, what I am explaining to you and what is there in the scripture is not something that is philosophy. It is very experiential. If you continue to practice this, just being in the awareness, recognizing the nature of this awareness, and whatever you're doing, going to the bathroom, cleaning the house, very mundane thing, you recognize that all that is nothing but the knowingness. The knowingness itself is the perception of the vacuum cleaner in my hand. Yeah, the knowingness itself is everything. That is how it is. Brahman Satyam. The only truth is that only Brahman exists. Only consciousness exists. Only knowingness exists. Yeah. It does not see it.
Cannot see it.
Can the mirror see you? The mirror cannot see you, but it reflects your face, correct?
Okay.
So like that only, the mind is nothing but a mirror. It just reflects that light. There is no seeing happening.
But then when you perceive the external within this mind complex, the parts of the mind, and identifying it will be your ego, obviously.
Exactly.
In that sense.
Yes. The example in the text is from ancient times where the ironsmith used to make a ball of iron and he used to throw it into the fire. And when it started burning, there was no difference between the iron ball and the fire. It looked the same. It's the same thing. The ego just identifies with the light and starts feeling conscious. What is the quality of pure consciousness? It is going to give you its quality, correct? The fire gave the ball the quality of that warmth, the heat, the light. And then the ball started thinking, oh, I am light. Is the ball of iron really light? No, it is not luminous. Exactly like that, the ego starts getting the quality of the consciousness. So it feels conscious. That's how your mind feels conscious. You feel like I'm conscious. You feel even the body is conscious. So when in this example where the moonlight is reflecting on this entire planet, what does it mean? The conscious element or the quality of being conscious is given to the entire planet. Yes, just like the light is coming, the quality of being conscious is given to all matter. So matter seems conscious. That's how this body, which is really only a corpse without any consciousness, suddenly feels conscious. Do you get it? This is also a very important question asked by the disciple in the Upanishad, that how do I feel like I am the subject? How do I feel I? And he says, because of the quality, the borrowed quality of consciousness. Understanding the word consciousness, it makes you feel conscious. Just like fire would make that iron ball feel like light. There is no reflection of ego. This reflection that we are talking about is the reflection of Brahman consciousness assumed by the ego to be I. Chitta Chaya. What is Chitta Chaya? Definition of Chitta Chaya is the pure consciousness reflecting on the mirror of the mind. And then the ego, which is part of the same mind, identifies with this reflected light and says, this is I. Now is it clear? So there is no reflection of ego, it's a reflection of the pure Brahman, the pure consciousness on the mind. The mind is like a mirror. And that reflected light, ego becomes one with it and says, see, this is I. See, this is I. Just like that iron ball sitting in the fire suddenly starts feeling, see, I am luminous. I am self-luminous. It is not self-luminous. You know, the moon is not self-luminous, right? The moon has no light of its own. Even though there are like millions of poetry written on the beauty and the light of the moon, moonlight does not exist. You know that, right? Yeah? Exactly like that. The consciousness of the ego, the feeling of I, does not exist. I-ness, there is nothing like I-ness. I've made up the word, okay, just to convey a meaning. There is nothing like I. I is merely a thought that comes up from the mind. It becomes one with this light. It's not a real light. Don't go looking for a light. It is basically that sense of being conscious. It holds on to that sense of being conscious and it says, this is I. Clear? Yeah? That I-ness is really false. It does not exist. Are there times when there is no gravity? No. It's like a law. Do you understand? It's like a law of the universe. It's just akin to a law, which means that there is never a gap in your awareness. There is never a gap in your knowingness. There is never a gap in your consciousness. So tell me now, in deep sleep, are you aware? Is awareness there? Is consciousness there?
Yes.
It is there. But why do I not experience the awareness or the consciousness in deep sleep?
Because I'm not aware. I mean, like sometimes I don't remember.
There is no sometimes. You never will know the deep sleep state. But there is consciousness. There is knowingness. Which element or which faculty in you figures out something, knows, analyzes something? Which faculty? What in you analyzes? Who's analyzing right now?
Intellect.
The intellect. Is the intellect available in the deep sleep state? No. Because it is not available in the deep sleep state, I cannot analyze the deep sleep state. There is no object no thought object available in the deep sleep state. That is why I don't know the deep sleep state. It is beyond the realm of my little intellect. Is it clear? Chitta Chaya is the reflection of the pure consciousness. Avanti, the body-mind complex of Avanti, can never know the purest form of consciousness, can never know the supreme or the ultimate consciousness. Do you get it? We only know the reflection of that consciousness which manifests in this mind and in this body. Yes? That consciousness is something that the ego takes up and says, this is I. This is called Tadatma. It identifies with it. Yeah? And the ego says, this is who I am. But consciousness cannot be individual because consciousness is infinite. How many infinite spaces do you know? How many infinite spaces can there be? If there is just one infinite possibility, then that has to be a field of knowingness. It cannot be an individual consciousness here and an individual consciousness there. It is a field of consciousness. And that field of consciousness itself is the Brahman, from which the mind comes up as a vibration and the activity of thinking happens. But there is no difference between thinking and knowingness. It is the same. Yeah, there is no difference between perceiving something by taste, by touch, by smell, any kind of perception, and knowingness is the same. They are not happening in separate space and time. There is no separate space and time. Is that clear? Exactly. It is the ego's perception of itself. That is the one who is
itself, which is really not there.
Correct. It is only asking the question. It is only saying I. Who is this I in you? It is that ego. I'm telling you, there is no I-ness. The moment you say I, who is it? Very, very clear. Yeah. That is why you see the enlightened people, they stop saying I after a while. Because that separate I that was created, that perception of a separate self, that perception of a personal self, that perception completely crumbles and breaks. It does not exist anymore because he can actually be in the knowingness and know that it is knowingness itself creating this thought. It is knowingness itself bringing that sensation. It is knowingness itself bringing up the feeling. Everything is knowingness. Knowingness pervades everywhere. Where is this I, this so-called I? There is no I. Not seeing everything, knowing that everything is knowingness. There is only Brahman consciousness and nothing else. That is the meaning of Advaita. No two, no other. Means the ego does not exist. I does not exist. There is no individual consciousness that exists. There is just the Brahman consciousness. That is pure Advaita. Okay.
When
Nothing is independent of the knowingness. You are saying, is the wave independent of the ocean? Can the wave be independent of the ocean? It cannot. The wave is born in the ocean, it plays for a while in the ocean, it dissolves back into the ocean. In that little interim, it doesn't matter whether it calls itself the mind or a thought or ego or memory. It's just a wave that arose and went back. There is no outside of knowingness. There is no outside of consciousness. There is no outside of awareness. I use these words together. There is no outside of nothingness or shunyata. There is no outside of this purnata. That is where Advaita tells you that even that labeling is not different from knowing. Just do it with that awareness. Oh, this labeling that I am doing, calling a spade, however angry I am right now, this is not different from knowing. This is knowing. That knowingness, let it come up. The only thing that happens is the light of knowingness becomes dim when you get too lost in the drama. The moment you remind yourself that this drama is not different from this knowingness, the light of knowingness becomes larger than the drama. You're not really doing much. Yeah, you're just remembering that which you had forgotten for a little while since the drama and the commotion began in office. Yeah, that's all you're doing. Yeah, it's not even doing really. The knowingness is that drama, the words coming out, the thinking, the perceiving, the sensations going inside you when other people are doing the drama in office. Everything is knowingness. Just that awareness coming up. Knowingly being the knowingness. Got it? So it is a separate self. You are a mixture. This I-ness that is there in you is the ego, is the mind, is the memory of the past, all the past karmas that it brought in. It is itself all these together forming its ragas and dveshas. This whole separate self is a creation of the ego by an assumption that I am that light or I am I. Yeah. The ego will slowly start crumbling when it starts seeing that everything is the knowingness. I am not I. Yeah. Literal translation of that shloka is Mano Buddhi Ahankar Chittani Naham. I am not I. The weakening of the ego will happen provided you keep being in this knowingness. You recognize this knowingness because it is there. You are not manufacturing it. You don't have to sit down and meditate for 20 hours to bring the knowingness in. No, it is there in your most flared up situation. Somebody inside you knows that you are angry right now. Some words are coming out. That knowingness is there. The only thing is its flame is very small. You just recognize this knowingness. It'll just increase by recognizing. You don't have to do much because you are the knowingness. You are not that ego-filled mind screaming at the other person and creating the drama. That is just an assumption. Yeah, that is the identification, the tadatma that the ego has done. You are this awareness. Yeah, you are this knowingness. So it's like you had crept under this side and now suddenly you crept up here. That's all that is happening. And this became big and then this dwindles away. Of course, you're going to slip many times because of the previous habit patterns. If you behave with a particular person in a particular way, have you noticed that only the first 2-3 lines of anger you are saying consciously? After that, it is like automatically coming out. Yes? Even if you want to stop, you're not able to stop it. Have you noticed? This is what is called a habit pattern. Yeah? When you get stronger and stronger in your knowingness, the habit pattern will start weakening. But it's not going to weaken overnight, no? Some days you are going to slip and create a big drama, and someday you're going to emerge as the winner. Do you get it? So the days you lose, the days you feel, oh, I was so bad today, don't beat yourself up. Know that it is the knowingness which has become big right now. It's okay. What happened is gone. Now be in the knowingness. Is this clear? How to deal with fear, how to deal with anger. There are specific remedies given in Advaita. Yeah? But it's not very different from what I'm explaining to you. You have to just give the power to the knowingness again and again. Notice that buried under your layers of anger is that soft, quiet knowingness which is untouched. Yeah? Our problem is we don't face our anger. Our problem is that we don't want to face these layers of emotion which is buried in us. And everybody has a different emotion which becomes the big ghost and sits on your head. Some people have fear as a weakness. Some people have anger as a weakness. Some people have a sense of lack or sadness as a weakness. It doesn't matter what these emotions are, Advaita says. These are just top layers. Just top layers. And these are fake layers of the ego. The more you start seeing from that knowingness, you will know, oh, it's just pretending. The ego is just pretending, bringing up an excuse to start this fight right now. You will start becoming very aware, provided you continue the practice. It's not even a real practice. It's just being in the knowingness. Yeah. It's very easy to win over your emotions with the open-eyed kind of practice than with closing your eyes, sitting for 20 minutes, feeling very calm, very nice in 20 minutes. Mind is very calm. And you get up, you open your eyes, and what has your kids done? Thrown all books and pencils and stuff into the middle of the room and finished. All your peace and calm is gone. Purr, out of the window. Advaita says that does not work. You have to learn to find that calmness within, buried under your layers of anger. It is right there at the bottom. That knowingness, you yourself told me, no? It is very peaceful. There is nothing there. Yeah? There is no raga, no dvesha. There is no excitement, no depression. It is an absolute peace devoid of emotion. It is buried under those layers of whatever your predominant emotion is. So you recognize that layer by layer you have to just go in and separate them out and find that peace and then be there. Next time you will notice that the anger will have a shorter duration. After some time it will become even shorter and a point will come when it will just be like line on water. Yeah. But now don't expect this to happen overnight. Yeah. You have to again and again be in the knowingness for that. Only when you're in the knowingness in happy times can you do it when the times are not so pleasant. Do you see what I'm saying? Right now, are you in the knowingness? Yeah. Know that the knowingness is not different from you nodding your head also. How can you say no? It is there. Every time you say no, it's like saying, oh, I'm a fish, but I'm out of water. I'm saying there is no outside. The outside does not exist. Yeah. The same thing has been called self-remembering. Yeah. In the tradition of Good Jeff, it is called self-remembering. Means you have just forgotten this knower. Yeah. Did I manufacture the knower and put inside you yesterday? No. This knower was always there. I had just forgotten this guy. I neglected him. Yeah, poor little thing went and sat in the corner feeling all ignored and neglected. Now it's your turn to feed it, to make it stronger, to make it bigger. That's it. Just again and again, be in the knowingness. Be in the knowingness. Just self-remembering. Yeah. Again, but then don't hold on to the word self. Huh? That will be another ego. There is no self. Yes, on the path of Advaita, there is no self. There is just the consciousness or just the Brahman, just the pure knowingness. Yeah? Yes. But again, then don't get into that thing that the Rama is inside me. Then the Rama inside me does not like the Jesus inside you, and that's where all the divide comes up and then the fights come up. That is why I steer clear from these words and stick to simple words. Knowingness, yeah, intelligence, or call it awareness, consciousness. Steer clear of these words, because then that's where the difference come up. And then, oh, there's Rama inside me, so there is a soul inside me. And then now ego has taken another form. Now this is the most difficult form to break, the Yoga Maya. Yeah, you will take 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life to break it. You might kick the bucket and never be able to break this. So don't go there only. Make it very simple. My experience is what? Do I see any Mr. Rama inside? No, I don't see Rama. Do I see Krishna inside? I don't see any Krishna. Do I see Jesus inside? No, I don't see any Jesus. What do I really know? I know there is an awareness, a witness. You want to give it a name? Call him Mr. Sakshi. Nice name? Yeah, Sakshi means witness. There is just a witness inside me, and it's the same witness in him, in her, in her, in her, in everybody. Now, the witness that I experience, does it have a limit? Does it have a border? It doesn't. It's limitless. It is infinite. How many infinite witnesses can there be? How many infinite witnesses? Only one. Witnesses like the space. How many infinite spaces can there be? Only one. Oh, we are all one field of witnessing. We are one single field called the witness consciousness. The witness consciousness itself has condensed into little minds. That mind has taken on that false identification of I and has given the body the form. These forms of body and mind are like waves in the water of the ocean. They've come up for a while and then they will dissolve here only for a while. Again, after some time, down the river, because of certain currents, the same waves come up. They play for a while, again they dissolve, again they keep going, and the story continues. What is the essence? What is everything made up of? The same water, the same Brahman consciousness, the same witnessing, the same awareness, the same Chiddakasha, yeah? The same Purnata, fullness, the same Shunyata, zeroness, nothingness. If you address it by a neutral name, you will not get into mine and yours. Because again, that is another thing the ego holds on to. You saw where I'm going, na? Yeah? Let go, let go, let go. There is a oneness. That oneness itself is this consciousness. We are one single field of consciousness. Clear? Okay? Chalo. I'll see you in your mentorship meeting or next Saturday.